Have you ever wondered why certain people, ideas, or even places pull us in without reason, like invisible threads tugging at something deep within us? It's not always beauty, not always logic. Sometimes, it's the way someone speaks without speaking, the way an idea lingers long after it's been heard, or the silent magnetism of a stranger's glance that feels familiar yet unknown. What is this force we call attraction? Is it chemistry, a trick of the mind, or something more profound, an echo of something eternal? Attraction isn't just about relationships. It's the silent energy that shapes our choices, desires, and even destinies. We're drawn to art, to music, to philosophies that stir something inside us we didn't know was sleeping. But what if attraction isn't just something that happens to us? What if it's something we can understand, cultivate, and even master, not through manipulation, but through the simple act of becoming more ourselves? Most people think attraction is a surface phenomenon, tied to appearances or fleeting charm. But true attraction, the kind that resonates beyond the moment, is rooted in depth, authenticity, and the unspoken language of presence. Imagine someone entering a room. They don't say a word, yet every head turns. It's not because they're the most beautiful or the loudest. It's something else. A silent gravity, a quiet confidence, a mystery that demands attention without asking for it. Attraction begins where words end. It thrives in the spaces between what is said and what is felt. And if we're willing to look beyond the obvious, we'll find that the most magnetic people, ideas, and experiences share one thing in common. They reflect back to us something we've lost, something we seek, or something we've never dared to face within ourselves. But how do we tap into this force? How do we become the kind of person, or create the kind of life that naturally draws others in, not through effort but through essence? It starts with understanding that attraction isn't about adding more. It's about stripping away. It's about uncovering the raw, unfiltered parts of ourselves that we often hide. The vulnerability beneath the armor, the depth beneath the small talk, the truth beneath the image. At its core, attraction is about alignment. Being so in tune with who you are that your very presence speaks louder than your words. It's not about trying to be interesting. It's about being interested. In life, in growth, in the silent mysteries that surround us. You see, the paradox of attraction is this. The more you chase it, the more it eludes you. But the moment you let go of trying to be magnetic and focus instead on becoming real, authentic, and aligned with your purpose, attraction becomes effortless. It's not something you have to force. It's something you naturally embody. And that's what we're going to explore. Not just the what of attraction, but the why and the how. We'll dive into the psychology that shapes it, the spiritual threads that weave through it, and the practical ways to cultivate it. Not by changing who you are, but by uncovering who you've always been beneath the noise. Because the truth is, you don't need to learn how to attract. You were born with that power, you just forgot, and it's time to remember. Attraction operates in silence long before it speaks through words. It's not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's just a glance, a feeling, an unexplainable pull. Have you ever felt drawn to someone without knowing why? Not because of what they said or did, but because of the space they held, the way they existed fully without apology. This is the first secret of attraction: presence. Presence is the art of being fully here, fully alive in this very moment. Most people are physically present but mentally elsewhere, trapped in thoughts of the past, worries about the future, or tangled in self-doubt. But those who are truly magnetic carry an energy that's undeniable because they are rooted in the now. When you're present, you don't need to perform or impress. Your energy speaks for you. It's felt in your silence, in your gaze, in the way you listen without waiting to reply. Attraction isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity. People are drawn to what feels real because, deep down, we're all searching for something genuine in a world that often feels artificial. Think about it. Aren't you more captivated by someone who is unapologetically themselves than someone who's trying too hard to be liked? Authenticity is rare, and rarity has always been magnetic. But authenticity isn't just about being honest with others. It's about being honest with yourself. What are you hiding? What parts of yourself do you suppress because you think they're not good enough? The irony is, the very things you're afraid to show might be the most attractive. Vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's an invitation. It says, this is who I am without masks. And that kind of courage pulls people in because it gives them permission to be real too. Now let's go deeper. Attraction is often misunderstood as something external, a reaction to beauty, status, or charm. But real attraction begins within. It's an energy you cultivate by how you live, think, and feel. This is why some people seem to have an effortless magnetism. It's not luck, it's alignment. They've aligned with their true selves, and that alignment radiates outward. But what causes this inner alignment? It starts with clarity. When you know who you are, what you stand for, and what you value, you carry yourself differently. You're not swayed by every opinion or desperate for validation. There's a quiet confidence that comes from self-knowledge. Not arrogance, but the calm assurance that you are enough. Confidence isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. In fact, the most attractive confidence is often the quietest. It's in the steady voice that doesn't rise to dominate a room, the relaxed posture of someone who doesn't need to prove anything. It's in the eyes that see without judgment and the heart that beats without fear. But how do you develop this kind of confidence? You stop outsourcing your worth. You realize that no one's opinion of you matters more than your own. You begin to live not to impress, but to express. You express your truth, your passions, your flaws, all of it. And when you do, you become magnetic, not because you're trying to attract, but because you're living in alignment with who you truly are. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Attraction isn't just personal, it's universal. The same forces that govern the cosmos govern our connections. Think about gravity. Planets don't chase after each other. Their mass naturally pulls objects into orbit. Similarly, when you embody your true self, you create a gravitational pull, not just with people, but with opportunities, experiences, and growth. This is why chasing often repels, but alignment attracts. But what about desire? Isn't attraction fueled by desire? Yes, but desire can be both a guide and a trap. Desire shows us what we long for, but when it turns into neediness, it becomes repellent. Why? Because neediness is rooted in lack, and nothing is less attractive than the energy of lack. True attraction comes from abundance, the abundance of self-awareness, self-love, and purpose. When you desire from a place of wholeness rather than emptiness, your energy shifts. You're no longer saying, "I need you to complete me." You're saying, "I am whole, and I choose to connect." There's also a paradox here. We're often most attracted to what we can't have, or what remains slightly out of reach. Why? Because mystery creates tension, and tension creates interest. This doesn't mean playing games or being manipulative. It means understanding the power of space. Just as music relies on pauses between notes, attraction thrives in the spaces where curiosity grows. You don't have to reveal everything about yourself immediately. Let there be layers, depth, things left unsaid. Mystery isn't about hiding, it's about unfolding. Now let's talk about energy, because attraction isn't just psychological, it's energetic. You've felt it before, walking into a room and sensing someone's vibe without a word being exchanged. Energy doesn't lie. It's the invisible language we all speak. Your energy is shaped by your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. So if you want to be more magnetic, it's not about changing how you look or act. It's about shifting your inner state. Cultivate gratitude, passion, peace, and purpose, and you'll radiate an energy that speaks louder than words. But here's the most profound truth about attraction. It's not about getting, it's about giving. We often think, how can I attract more into my life? But the real question is, what am I radiating out into the world? When you focus on what you can give, whether it's your attention, your presence, your creativity, you become a source of value. And people are naturally drawn to sources of value, not because you're trying to get something, but because you're overflowing with something worth sharing. This shift from seeking to giving changes everything. It takes you from scarcity to abundance, from neediness to generosity. You become attractive not because you're trying to pull things toward you, but because you're a force that naturally draws things in by the sheer strength of what you embody. Now, let's touch on something often overlooked: emotional resonance. We're not just attracted to people who look good or sound smart. We're attracted to those who make us feel something. Emotion is the bridge between souls. It's the heartbeat beneath words. If you want to deepen your connections, focus less on impressing and more on expressing, sharing stories, ideas, and feelings that resonate on a human level. Think of the people who've left a lasting impact on you. Was it their perfect words or flawless appearance? Or was it the way they made you feel seen, heard, or inspired? Attraction isn't about perfection, it's about connection, and connection is born from authenticity, vulnerability, and emotional depth. But here's the final paradox. The less you try to attract, the more attractive you become. When you stop chasing and start being, fully, unapologetically, you become magnetic. Not because you're trying, but because you're true. And in a world full of copies, authenticity is the rarest and most beautiful thing of all. So if you're wondering how to become more attractive, the answer is simple. Stop trying to be attractive. Start being real. Live with passion. Speak with purpose. Stand in your truth. The rest will follow. Because attraction isn't something you find. It's something you remember. It's who you've always been beneath the layers of fear, doubt, and pretense. You don't need to chase it. You already are it. When you begin to understand that attraction is not about striving for approval or clinging to the fleeting things that others value, you unlock a deeper, more profound force. This is the energy that arises from within when you stop seeking external validation and instead place your worth in your own hands. You begin to see that your value doesn't depend on the opinions or judgments of others. It is an inherent part of your being. This realization is the second step toward becoming truly magnetic, understanding that your worth is not only independent of external circumstances, but also transcends them. The more you focus on your own growth and inner fulfillment, the more you realize that the most attractive thing you can do is to simply be who you are, fully. People sense that kind of authenticity. They can feel the difference between someone trying to be something they are not, and someone who is unapologetically, completely themselves. There is an invisible energy that draws others to you when you are comfortable in your own skin, free of the need to impress or prove anything. This is the power of self-acceptance. However, understanding your value doesn't mean complacency. It doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for things to come to you. It's about creating a life that reflects the depth of who you are. You see, attraction doesn't come from simply existing. It comes from living with purpose and intention. When your life is aligned with your core beliefs, your passions, and your mission, you create an invisible pull that draws people who resonate with your energy. People want to be around those who inspire them, who show them what is possible when you live authentically. And in this, you become a beacon, not because you're trying to be magnetic, but because you're doing what's meaningful to you. Attraction also thrives on the foundation of inner peace. When you are calm, centered, and emotionally balanced, you exude an aura that others cannot help but be drawn to. Think of someone who enters a room and instantly calms the atmosphere without saying a word. Their energy is steady, serene, and unwavering. This is not just a product of their personality, it's the result of deep inner work, the quiet confidence that comes from mastering your inner world. The more you cultivate peace within, the more that peace radiates outward and attracts others who seek that same harmony. But the road to this kind of peace is not without its challenges. To become this centered, you must first confront and let go of the inner turmoil, the noise, and the distractions that cloud your true self. This is where the process of self-discovery begins. As you peel back the layers of fear, doubt, and insecurity, you uncover a more grounded version of yourself, one that no longer needs to chase after external approval, because it has found a deep sense of peace within. One of the most powerful tools in this journey is mindfulness. When you practice mindfulness, you start to notice the thoughts, patterns, and behaviors that hold you back from being your authentic self. You become aware of the judgments you place on yourself and others, the need for external validation, and the constant noise that distracts you from the present moment. And as you observe these tendencies, you slowly begin to loosen their grip. Attraction also thrives in the space of personal growth. When you show a commitment to growth, whether through learning, self-reflection, or the pursuit of your passions, you naturally draw others who are on similar paths. People are attracted to those who are constantly evolving, who seek to become better versions of themselves, because growth is inherently attractive. It suggests potential, possibility, and a willingness to change. The willingness to grow means that you will never become stagnant, and that alone is magnetic. This is why when you align with your purpose, attraction becomes a natural byproduct. You don't have to try to be interesting, you just live your truth, and in doing so, you become a living example of what is possible when one follows their heart. Your purpose becomes your magnetism. Your purpose is the thread that ties together your actions, words, and intentions. It gives your life meaning, and in turn, it gives those around you something to resonate with. People are drawn to passion because passion is contagious. When you speak about something you love, something that excites you, there is an undeniable spark in your voice, in your energy. That passion, whether for your work, your art, or your relationships, ignites the same spark in others. It makes them feel alive and reminds them of what it feels like to be truly invested in something. Passion fuels attraction because it reminds others of their own dreams and desires. Yet, here's another truth. True passion does not come from an external source. It is not something you seek outside of yourself, but something that is already present within. It is a spark that you must cultivate by living authentically and diving deeply into your own interests, curiosities, and callings. When you tap into your passion, you begin to live with a sense of purpose that transcends everyday distractions. This is what makes you magnetic. You're not chasing approval, you're living with intent, and that intention draws others in. But there's a fine line between passion and obsession. Passion is magnetic when it comes from a place of balance and wholeness. Obsession, on the other hand, often stems from a place of neediness or desperation. When you are obsessed with something, it implies that there is something lacking, something missing. But when you are passionate, you share your energy freely, without expectation or need. Passion without attachment creates an open space for others to join in, to resonate with what you are doing. It invites others into the story without forcing them to play a part. Another essential ingredient to attraction is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions, while also recognizing and influencing the emotions of others. It is the art of connecting on a deeper level, not just through words, but through empathy, understanding, and responsiveness. People who are emotionally intelligent have a way of making others feel heard, seen, and valued. They listen not just with their ears, but with their hearts, creating a space where others feel safe enough to open up and share. Being emotionally intelligent means understanding your own emotions and using that understanding to relate to others in a meaningful way. It's about recognizing when someone is feeling vulnerable or upset and responding with kindness, patience, and understanding. When you lead with empathy and emotional awareness, you become someone others are naturally drawn to, not because you are trying to manipulate them, but because you are truly present with them, seeing them for who they are. Attraction is about the connection between people, and that connection is built on understanding and respect. If you can create that kind of emotional resonance, you become a magnet, not because of what you say, but because of how you make others feel. Attraction, in its purest form, is not about the chase, it's about being present, being authentic, being aligned with your purpose, and being emotionally aware. These are the qualities that make you magnetic, not because you're trying to be, but because you've embraced who you truly are and lived that truth boldly. You become a force that others can't help but be drawn to, not because you seek their approval, but because you embody something real. And in the end, the secret to attraction isn't a secret at all. It's not about tricks or strategies. It's about remembering that you already possess everything you need to attract the life and relationships you desire. You just have to let it shine. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to change who you are. You just need to remember the power that already exists within you and live from that place. When you do, you'll see that attraction becomes effortless. Not because you're trying to impress, but because you've simply remembered how to be your most authentic, powerful self. And in that, you become more magnetic than you ever imagined possible.